Hey, it's Patti, Scharf CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, a leader in e-commerce accounting. Welcome back to another Saturday Slowdown, where I like to remind everybody to work on their business and not just in their business. Okay, today I'm going to talk about all the mayhem that ensued this week when Intuit put out kind of a test run on their pricing page, talking about QuickBooks Online being offered with live bookkeeping. As you might imagine, a whole bunch of pro advisors, so bookkeepers, accountants who are working directly with Intuit on their QuickBooks Online programs and stuff, once they got word of this, there was mayhem going on because they're like, oh my God, is our vendor trying to compete with us? That's not fair, and this is ridiculous, and I'm jumping to Xero and whatever. So I want to talk about kind of my opinions on all these things and just kind of give you my point of view. So I want to start off by saying that bookkeeping by the small businesses that I know, it's not really valued. I mean, it's kind of the dirty little secret of accounting that small businesses, they just don't get it. I think part of the problem is that small businesses, they simplify what they don't know. Well, everybody does this. I think you're like, oh, well, all I have to do is X, Y, and Z, when if you're actually doing it, you know that things are way more complicated than you could have possibly imagined. Like before I started a YouTube channel, I just couldn't believe how much research and digging into stuff I had to do. It was kind of ridiculous. I mean, you don't just grab your camera and do it. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. So bookkeeping is like that. Like you just don't know what you don't know if you're not doing it. So bookkeepers feel undervalued, underappreciated, and they provide a lot of valuable information to small businesses who take advantage of it and have actual good bookkeeping. But I know 10, 12 years ago, something like that, I bought a CPA firm, and I opened up the drawer and there were monthly financial statements in there that either hadn't been shared with clients, the clients never picked them up, they paid for the bookkeeping services, but they didn't ever look at the financial statements because either they couldn't read them or they just didn't care. And really, financial statements are the scorecard of your business. I could go on a whole tirade on that, but in general, small business owners, they don't get it. They also see that automation is coming down the pike, and they're like, it's so easy. All your stuff is automated. Why should I pay for something that you guys just push a button and it's all done? It's ridiculous. So, if you're a small business and that's what you think, then it's going to be really hard to argue your way out of it just on the data entry merits alone. Intuit is smart. They know this. They also have Bench and BotKeeper and a bunch of other companies who are rushing to the market and saying, here, I'll do your accounting for a couple $100. Hey, I'll do your accounting for $300. And Intuit is like, hey, we're just trying to sell software, and what better way to sell software is to just slap on a live bookkeeper with it. They had really good success with TurboTax, and so why wouldn't they do that with bookkeeping too? And honestly, okay, more power to them. They're a software company, so by all means, sell your software, But here's the thing, what they're selling, if they're going to sell it effectively, it has to be very specific. It has to be very standard. It has to be very small. It has to be just these specific things. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to scale it, right? And if that's what they're giving their customers, then they're not giving them a lot. And honestly, so I'm in New Zealand. I've been traveling here for the last several months, and Scott and I have talked to a bunch of New Zealand accounting firms, and we're asking about different market changes and things like that, and how they're competing and that kind of thing. And we heard over and over that a lot of accounting firms are actually outsourcing their bookkeeping to Malaysia, the Philippines, to India, because that low-level work, it's just not valued by small businesses. And they're doing it to remain competitive between all the other accounting firms that are in New Zealand, but they're really doing it just as kind of a stopgap until Xero has figured out their artificial intelligence and their machine learning so that all of that coding and bookkeeping stuff, all can be automated and just go away. So whether Intuit is doing it with a live bookkeeping service or Xero is doing it with automation, all that work, it's going away. It just is, and it's not surprising. This is not new information. Like, we've seen it coming from a long way off. I wrote an article about this in February of 2015, something like are bookkeepers becoming obsolete or something like that. I'll put a link down below so you can read it. And what I was saying was, look, all this other stuff, it's driving the market to be more and more price sensitive. It's driving small businesses to expect more for less. So you can't compete with automation, so you need to change your skills and up your skills in a different way. And here's the other thing. I think, so in the US, I think the two big players for accounting software is QuickBooks Online and Xero. Okay, they're strong competitors against each other. And I think that they have very different approaches. I think that Intuit, I said before, they sell software. And I think it's really obvious that that is their strategy. Their strategy is to go to the end user. Their strategy is to go to the do-it-yourselfers. If they happen to have a pro advisor program and they can get a bunch of customers that way, that's great. But really, the pro advisor people are really more salespeople for them. And you know this because if you walk into Costco, you see they've got QuickBooks right there on the shelf. Or if you're watching the Super Bowl, you see Danny DeVito is telling small business owners directly how easy it is to do their own books, right? Xero, I think, takes a different approach, and it's one of the reasons why we kind of aligned ourselves with them early on. In like 2013, we decided not to take any more QuickBooks clients. I think that Xero has a very different approach. They understand the importance of having accountants aligned with small businesses. Like, it's really important for the success of a small business owner to have an accountant in their corner to help coach them as far as the finances go and things like that, to help them understand their financials, help them understand and be proactive in managing their business, okay? And to be fair, Intuit does that too, and they talk to pro advisors and they tell them how to do different things and try and give them a hint of where the industry is going. But I think no matter which software you're looking at, you're going to get to the same end result. Xero, they're going to automate the snot out of things so that having the bookkeeper kind of becomes irrelevant. And QuickBooks Online, they're going to jump first to the live bookkeeper, but eventually they'll automate too, and the bookkeeping will become irrelevant. I don't think jumping ship from one software to another is going to save you. I think that if you are trying to compete on the data entry side of things, you're pretty much screwed no matter which way you go. But I do like that Xero is taking an approach that really is more in alignment with where I would hope the accounting industry would go, which is, yay, they're going to automate the snot out of things so that it's easier for us to use, it's easier for our clients to use, it's easier to collaborate on, and things like that. So, I mean, that's one of the things I like about Xero. So, but honestly, I don't think it matters. I think that unless you kind of change your approach, you're not going to get where you want to go long term. So that begs the question, what do you need to do to stay competitive? How do you stay in business if these different companies are like crushing you on the low end? And I think the answer is you need to move up. So you need to elevate your skills. You need to really work on your personal people skills, your soft skills. You need to work on educating your clients. You need to work on understanding the numbers on a really deep level so that you can start to predict where the companies are going, so you can help guide them in the right way so that they can have a healthier, more successful business. You need to learn how to manage and manipulate data so that you can get some of these key insights. I think especially for like e-commerce sellers, the e-commerce industry, oh my goodness, like navigating all the different payment processors and shopping carts and different things, it's a nightmare, you know? And so the more you can understand how data works and you can manipulate that into learning key information about your clients' businesses, the better you're going to be. And I think along with that, you need to specialize. You need to pick one industry and go with it, because if you're going to be able to give your clients deep insight, you can't be distracted by learning about 7 different industries. You need to focus on one so that you can go deeper, okay? So I think that's really critical to the success of accounting firms, at least in the US, for the long term. There's one last thing I want to say about this, and I don't want to project that this is all doom and gloom. Oh my God, QuickBooks has taken all our clients. Like, that is not what's going on here. I think that this is actually an opportunity, because if Intuit is taking, or Bench or Bookkeeper or whoever, if they're taking all these lower level clients, it's giving us an opportunity to differentiate ourselves from them. Like if QuickBooks Online has this live bookkeeping, but they've standardized it to such a point that they're selling fast food hamburgers, then we can sell steak, which means we can charge more and we can give clients more. And when we can give them more, then their businesses are going to be stronger and healthier. So, I mean, it's elevating us, it's elevating our clients, and that's got to be good for the economy. So yay, I guess. Everybody wins. I don't know. So if you have any additional thoughts or comments about this, feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to keep the conversation going. I've seen lots and lots of comments around, but I'm always curious to hear where people stand on different things. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.